Hey, this is Tim Rhea with Digital Health Summit Live. We have a special guest. You guys were with the special panel today with the Breakfast of Health Champions. Everybody recognizes Dr. Oz. And please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jeff Arnold, and I'm the founder of ShareCare, and Dr. Oz is also a co-founder of ShareCare, and he has learned so much about digital health in the last couple of years, sent me so many critiques. It was my opportunity to do his day job for a change and get to host a panel and ask him questions.
You did a wonderful job. Jeff also created WebMD, how stuff works. I mean, he's a brilliant entrepreneur who understands what users need, and Oprah introduced us before my show launched, because she realized that to have a television show about health, you have to give information that can resonate digitally, and that's what we focused on for the last few years.
Well, you know what I've realized today was asking the questions is a lot easier than having to answer them, right?
So I've been in the technology industry for a long time, and you see all this technology, and now with social media, it helps us share information. What's happening in the healthcare space, and why aren't people sharing more, or where will that go?
Well, we're not sharing the care, and part of the reason is because we don't really focus in on the reality that people don't change what they do based on their knowledge. They don't change because they don't know why emotionally it matters to them. And so if you can do things that break those silos down, as we work in itty bitty little specialty areas, and make it easier for folks to transfer information, it makes a difference. For example, personalized health. Big problem, lots of opportunity, a lot of focus on that here at the conference, but it's really not just about personalized health, it's about personalization and responsibility. Because if I don't act on what I've learned, then who cares? So providing something that's emotionally gripping. Now on the show we try to do it by making it fun, or by providing poignant insights. But in the technology area, you've got to do it by influencing people when they're about to make that decision. And that's what I think Jeff is the best at.
So you have Share and Care in your brand name.
Yeah, right. So we have ShareCare, but I tell you, when I first met Dr. Oz, and he was thinking about what his web strategy should be around sharing care, what we realized that now in 2013, there really shouldn't be just one WebMD. So how do we develop technology? How do we create partnerships that all boats rise with the tide? How do we inspire digital caregiving so other healers, other caregivers can be their own WebMD and really humanize health? And I believe that's happening now. It's taken us a long time to get there, but I think companies really want to collaborate. I think the iPhone and Apple has been a great model for that, of how when companies come together, it becomes your entertainment, it becomes your office, it becomes your wallet, but what it builds is utility. You look at Facebook and you look at MySpace, and when Facebook really took off and started really to make the distance from MySpace, is they opened up their APIs. Overnight they had 10,000 developers. Companies like Zynga were born. They built things like Farmville inside of Facebook, and that just gave people more things to do. That's what has to happen in healthcare. We need to come together to give more things to do to people who need it most.
And fundamentally, I think what we're offering is hope. Hope that you can make sense of what's going on, hope there's a better world out there tomorrow, and give people the support when they're making decisions. So you can actually make it easier for them to do the right thing.
So as we're in a tough economy and everyone's getting older, if you have no hope and finances are tough, what would be your recommendation to dig deep and make something happen?
The world's a complicated place, I acknowledge that, but there are two things that hurt us. One, happiness is in all of us right now. Every single person can hear my voice is actually fundamentally happy, but then we get attached to these desires. Sometimes they're irrational desires or beliefs, and they hold us back from being who we can. The other thing is, there's no one out there sort of helping us, nudging us along, and I think that's where we get to play a role in the digital world. How do we make life a little easier for you so you can help make sense of what's going on, and give you the power and the belief to recognize that you can make anything happen, because guess what? If you can control what's happening in your body, you can change the world outside of it. And unfortunately in America today, so many of us think we can't control our body. Well, if you can't even do that, then you think you're worthless.
So Jeff, where are you taking ShareCare? It's 2013, it was a new year. Where are you taking ShareCare?
I think the role that ShareCare needs to play in digital health is the humble host. So how do we take these hospital systems, how do we take these payers, how do we take these government organizations, it might be the Department of Defense, it might be the Red Cross, and how do we give them digital solutions so that we can take those trusted brands to the people they're caring for and have digital impact? And then how do we measure it, how does the system get smarter over time, and how do we celebrate the small wins? And I think that's one of the things that where social media plays an important role is, how do you build that community and how do you share success so that you keep engaged, so that you continue to make the right choices?
What's next up for you?
Well, we have got so much fun stuff planned. I was laughing about a series of recent promos we've made about Mr. Fat Pants. Because people sit at home. I know what's going on. It's a new year. All these folks are sitting at home saying, my fat pants don't even fit me anymore. And so we have a commercial with fat pants and shapewear. And Mr. Fat Pants says, this is my busy time of year. I am stretched to the limit. And so I wanted to get folks to celebrate life and realize that when you make even a small step in the right direction, you feel better right now. That's my biggest hope for us, is that we can make it easier if we make that first small step and then reinforce it. And with your friends who should be supporting you, not enabling you, you'll be able to do the things you want to do anyway. And I think that's where we often miss the boat. We try to build these really complex contraptions and mousetraps to change the world. And I admire our desire to do that, but when we spoke to those several hundred people who are real change agents in the room just now, the big message I tried to give was develop really simple ideas that change my life now, that I can use today. When you build those, I'll use them. And when you make it really complicated and challenging, I've got to do 15 steps, it doesn't happen. And not surprisingly, because you've made it hard to do the right thing.
Jeff, as an entrepreneur, what would be some tips for entrepreneurs around the world? I'm wearing a Startup America pin, so I'd like to hear that question.
You know, I think the best types of businesses are businesses that create win-win scenarios, right? So it's not all about my brand, it's not just all about my technology, it's not our revenue, it's not our users, but you know, how do you build businesses that are really about collaboration? Right? It's what Facebook's about, it's what Apple's about, it's what LinkedIn's about. These companies have done amazing jobs bringing consumers and businesses together to create utility that have impact. And I think that's the key to the future. And I think it's not going to just happen here, you know, in healthcare here in the US. I think with Dr. Oz's help, that message is going to be spread globally. And it's going to happen, it's going to move fast, you know, once we get the formula right. So I think global, think social, think mobile, think local, but think quality and trust first.
And think team, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. In your personal life, in your business life, it's a team. Now, I'm taking him off to play basketball now.
All right.
He's on my team.
All right, well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And everybody, thank my team and everybody here for supporting the show and the effort. And thank you for coming down.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, nice to see you. Thank you.